Today at Millstone Firewood, I want to show you guys a real quick maintenance check that needs to be done. I want to kind of kill two birds with one stone here. We're going to inspect the chain drive sprocket, and I'm also going to show you the quick and easy way to mount and dismount the harvester chain. The first thing we need to do is clear all the junk and smuck off of here. So a good stiff brush, my parts washer brush. We're going to knock most of this junk off. Yesterday I was doing an on-site processing job, and we went from 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night. We processed probably 2 triax loads of firewood. Pretty good run. Only had to sharpen the saw 3 times. Because I'm going to loosen the mounting bolts. Notice the position of the saw. The bar is almost vertical. I want it to be that way. That'll make doing this a lot easier. So we're just going to loosen these a little bit. Now, turning the adjusting screw with your scrunch while it's up in here is a bit of a pain. So I'm going to use a regular screwdriver for this. Now the secret here, which I just figured out not too long ago, is turn the adjusting screw so that the bar is completely seated against the studs. In other words, you're going to release all the tension on the chain. We're just going to keep on going until it stops. See, it's still moving a little bit. Okay, it seems to have stopped moving. And make sure it's on the bottom. And now we can tell, because if we look at the screw, when I push down on the screw and continue to turn, the adjusting screw is going to start lifting up. See how it's lifting up there? So what I want to do is come back here, just barely seated. Now what that's going to do for me, that aligns the adjusting stud with the hole in the bar while it's seated on the studs. That's important. And I'll show you why in a minute. The next step is to remove your mounting nuts. Get them off of here. Pull the motor assembly just slightly away, just a little bit, maybe half an inch, and now reach down under here and free the chain from the sprocket. Make sure your bar doesn't fall. Okay, now the motor assembly can just be removed, and there you have it. Now reassembly is just as simple. You just pick the motor up, put it right back in place, put it most of the way in, put the chain around the sprocket, shove it the rest of the way in, and you're good. So that's the easy way to remove and reassemble this. Now I'm going to take the chain off, and I'm going to sharpen it on the chain grinder. I'm going to get all this cleaned up, inspect the bar. We did a lot of work, a lot of wood yesterday, so I want to pull everything apart and inspect it. But the main reason for this is to inspect the sprocket. Of course, while I'm trying to do this, I've got Mauser Dog and Thomas the Turkey watching me, making sure I'm doing this correctly. Got Mr. Rooster over there, some chickens. Okay, and of course the dog has to be directly between my feet. Okay. Anyway, and then, not to be outdone, there's Gunner, and Mauser, and the turkey. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Now here's the sprocket. And as you can see, zoom in a little bit. Can I focus? Are we going to focus? There are marks on the sprocket. Stop that. Alright, so these grooves that are in the sprocket here, the shiny ones that is, that's wear from the chain. The maximum depth of these grooves is 25 thousandths of an inch, or 0.631 millimeters. So now I'm going to go get a tool to measure these. The proper way to do this would be to use a depth micrometer. I don't have one, so I'm going to use my dial calipers. So I'm sorry, I know you can't see very well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this in one of the grooves, find the deepest part of the groove, and then we'll seat this. And now I look at my reading, and I'm getting about 15 thousandths on that one. So let's try another one. Let me see, is it possible to find one that's deeper yet? I don't know. Alright, we'll just pick one here. Find the deepest part of the groove. That's 17 thousandths. Let's do another one. That one looks fairly substantial. That one is 24 thousandths. Let me try that again. No, that one's 12 thousandths. As I said, a depth micrometer would be better, I think, at doing this. All right, 12 thousandths. Okay. So it looks like while this is worn, it's not at its limit yet. So we're going to call it okay for now. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Now I have run this machine for going on 2 years with this same sprocket. That's pretty darn good.